jailed following allegation of rape as an excursion through the country's justice system. Ministry of Health announces a nationwide malaria vaccination campaign for children below 14 months. Liberia Chief Medical Officer Dr. Catherine Cooper calls on parents to take advantage of the opportunity for their children's safety. And also coming up in the news, the National Elections Commission officially certificates Kato Kwakut as the duly elected representative of Nimba County District 5 following a resolution from an electoral dispute that emerged from the August 12, 2025 by-election in the county. And away from home, thousands of people in Madagascar have taken to the street in different parts of the country for the past week in the largest wave of protest in Indian Ocean Island nationwide has witnessed in more than 15 years. Details of these developments, the news bulletin, and the actual voices of the news makers are all packaged. We are taking a very short break. When we come back, we'll bring you the full bulletin of news. Welcome back and thanks for being there. Up next is the bulletin of news with Sam Andrews.
The Inspector General of Liberia National Police, Gregory Coleman, Friday, provided comprehensive update on the ongoing investigation into the sexual assault allegations against suspended Deputy Youth and Sports Minister Bryant McGill. The case involved a 14-year-old girl who was allegedly sexually assaulted by Deputy Minister Brian McGill on two separate occasions. According to the police, the girl made an immediate disclosure to her family following the second alleged incident, underwent a medical examination as SGBB one-stop center, and has since been placed in a secure facility for psychological support. Addressing a press conference at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police, Gregory Coleman said the diligence and procedural consistency apply to the case so far. They are still on. Colonel Coleman outlined several steps taken by investigators, including statements from the victim, family members, administrative staff, and security personnel, review of CCTV footage, and inspection of the alleged crime scene, analysis of telephone data, and geolocation records, forensic examination of the suspect's mobile phone of Deputy Minister J. Brian McGill. In a related development, Sino County Senator Councillor Augustine Chie has issued a scathing rebuke of Liberia's Inspector General Gregory Coleman over what he described as a deliberate political cover-up in the handling of the rape allegation against suspended Deputy Minister of Youth at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, J. Bryant McGill. In a strongly worded public statement on his social media page, Senator Chie questioned why the Liberia National Police has yet to arrest J. Bryant McGill more than a month after a 14-year-old girl accused the government official of sexually assaulting her on two separate occasions. The Sino County Senator challenged Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman's justification of lack of sufficient evidence, citing the need for DNA results and further forensic analysis. Senator Chie, however, dismissed that reasoning as legally baseless and politically motivated, adding that no DNA or forensic evidence is required to arrest a criminal suspect. Councillor Chief accused the police of selective justice, arguing that opposition figures have been arrested and charged without the standard of evidence now being demanded in J. Brian McGill case. The Ministry of Health has called on parents to take ownership of Liberia's malaria vaccine campaign, stressing that its success centers on family ensuring their children receive all 4 doses of the RST vaccine. Speaking at the national launch of the vaccine in 9 additional counties, the chief medical officer, Dr. Catherine Kopo, said Liberia has made progress in the fight against malaria, but warned that complacency could undermine the gains. According to her, the vaccine will be administered to children between 5 and 15 months, noting it requires 4 doses for maximum protection. Dr. Cooper emphasized that the vaccine will help reduce severe malaria cases and hospitalization in the country. She also described the rollout as one of Liberia's most ambitious health interventions in recent years, targeting more than 108,000 children across Masurado and other parts. The National Elections Commission has certificated Koto Kwagure, the elected representative of Nema County, District 5, following a resolution from electoral dispute from August 12 by election. The certification ceremony was held Friday in Sinka, marking the conclusion of the District 5 by-election process. According to a statement issued, NEC noted that the event signifies the Commission's final validation of the electoral outcome after several months of legal and administrative proceedings. The statement added that the certificate was presented by NEC Chairperson David Etta Brown Lasana to Representative Cotter. The former chairperson of the National Patriotic Party, political commentator, and public policy consultant Emmanuel Lomax has called for an even-handed approach to the justice system in Liberia. Speaking with reporters in Sinka, he emphasized that accountability for war crimes and economic wrongdoing must not be selective or politically driven. Mr. Lomax questioned ongoing possibility for the establishment of a war and economic crimes court, described the global justice system as a paradox, and questioned whether such a tribunal in Liberia will develop true justice or be manipulated for political gain. The Deputy Director for Administration at Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, Ernest Tape, has warned LDEA officers assigned in Magibi County, urging them to uphold the higher standard of professionalism and integrity in the performance of their duty. Speaking during an orientation and monitoring with staff and prospective recruits, Tape emphasized that the new LDEA leadership would not tolerate any action that undermines the credibility and effectiveness of the agency. He was accompanied by senior LDEA officials, including members of the public relations team, as part of efforts to engage with field officers and reinforce operational protocols. Ernest Tape issued a warning against bribery, extortion, and collusion with drug traffickers, describing such acts as a betrayal of public trust and a threat to national security. The presiding judge of the Commercial Court of Liberia, Eva Mape Morgan, has issued a writ of execution ordering the seizure and sale of properties belonging to Ira Rural Supermarket and its chief executive officer, Robert Abijadi, in connection with an unpaid debt totaling more than $1.23 million. The writ reportedly stemmed from a judgment rendered in favor of Sepela International Bank Liberia Limited, which sued the supermarket for non-payment on commercial loan. The case was initiated by SIB through its general manager, Patrick Quito, who cited the defendant's breach of financial obligations. According to the writ, dated September 11th, the sheriff of the commercial court has been directed to seize all goods and other materials belonging to Ira Rural Supermarket and its CEO in order to recover the full amount of the US 1.23 million. And Associate Justice in Chambers, James Etter Wolokoli, Friday reserved ruling on a petition for a writ of certiorari filed by defense lawyers in the Capitol Building Action case. The petition filed by the legal team of former House Speaker Councillor Fonanti Kofa and others, accused of Capitol building arson attacks, seeks to suppress pieces of evidence presented by the prosecution, including alleged audio and forensic materials. The case, which was brought before the Supreme Court following a ruling from Criminal Court A, challenged the permissibility of the evidence on grounds that it was unlawfully obtained and highly hurtful to the defendants. During an argument held in court, defense counsel, headed by Councillor Arthur Johnson, Thursday argued that the defendant's constitutional rights were violated during the prosecution investigation. The defense counsel, through its petition for a writ of certiorari, claimed that the alleged confession by their clients was not willingly done, citing coercion and absence of legal representation during the interrogation.
Sam Andrews there with the news bulletin is a regular feature on King's Newsroom. 45 minutes of news about Liberia and the rest of our one globe. One of our top developments this evening, Sino County Senator and Chair on Judiciary, Councillor Augustine Chia describes LMP's alleged failure to arrest suspended Deputy Youth and Sports Minister Brian McGill following allegation of rape as an excursion through the country's justice system. Taking a very short break. When we come back, we'll bring you voices of the news makers. Welcome back. Let's not take our first development. The Inspector General of the Liberia National Police, Gregory Coleman, on Friday provided a comprehensive update on the ongoing investigation into sexual assault allegation against the suspended Deputy Minister of Youth and Sports, Brian McGill. The case involved a 14-year-old minor who was allegedly assaulted by Deputy Minister McGill on two separate occasions. According to police, the girl made an immediate disclosure to her family following the second alleged incident, went a medical examination at the SGBB One Sport Center and has since been placed in a secure facility for psychological support. Addressing the press conference at the headquarters of the LNP Friday, Colonel Gregory Coleman emphasized the intelligence and procedural circumstances applied to the case so far.
So today we just run over, gave you additional updates and look at things that have been done so far and what are the next steps as far as this investigation is concerned. As a brief overview, this case involves a female victim, 14 years old, minor in law, and it was filed by her sister, Emma Poor. The suspect is J. Brian McGill, Deputy Minister of suspended Deputy Minister for Youth and Sports, and it involves two allegations of two incidents of sexual assault. One on the 28th of August, and the second one on the 30th of August. The victim alleged forced penetration. She indicated that there was a threat with a knife and coercion. Immediate disclosure was made to the family. Medical examination was conducted, and that was done at the SDBB One Stop Center at the Duboro Clinic. This incident occurred on the 30th. It was immediately reported to the police at the Zone 8 police station on the very day that it occurred, that night, on the same 30th. The police immediately, in accordance with procedure, gave a referral slip for the one-stop center. The family, according to the family, it was over the weekend, so they could not get access to the center until Monday. However, they were advised along the way to ensure that the victim did not take a shower and to also preserve the clothes that she was wearing, and that was done until Monday for the medical examination. Following day, the result came back, was submitted to the police, and the investigation began and was subsequently transferred here to Central. Not because of any preferential reason, but because this particular case it involved a government official, and we needed to make sure that it was done properly and to oversee the investigation to know that every step of it be exhausted to make sure we get all of the pieces of evidence we needed to support the claims that were being made. We obtained statements from the victim, the complainant, witnesses, family members, administrative staff, and security officers at the Ministry of Youth and Sport and SKD Sport Complex. There was a visit of the scene, and at which CCTV footage was reviewed, came back, additional questioning of the suspect. We did subpoena the call records from Orange Network and that of MTN. They both submitted their records and
Police urged there providing reason why suspended Deputy Youth and Sport Minister Brian McGill is yet to be arrested, following allegation linking him to raping a 14-year-old girl. The Deputy Director for Administration at the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, Colonel Ernest Tapted, has one LDEA officer assigned in Magibi County, urging them to uphold the highest standard of professionalism and integrity in their performance of their duties. Speaking during an orientation and monitoring session of staff and individual newly recruited at the LDEA, Tappet emphasized that a new LDEA leadership will not tolerate any action that will undermine the credibility or effectiveness of the agency.
We will be going from county to county to do inspection. We can give you a specific mandate and instruction that we are operating strictly in accordance with the duty manual of the LDA. During the interim period, if you have long hair, put it behind. If you are on the field, arresting drug, confiscating it, and selling it, and behind drug dealer for money every day, we will not tolerate it. If we just get our report, there's no suspension in this book. During the 90 days, it's a hot season. Don't let your need to come up. Because once your need pop up, and we have to do the investigation, and we find out we are not going to, it will be strictly discrimination. We are not saying that we're going to quit drugs 1,000,000% time, but we are trying to eradicate drugs from Liberia. That's our team motto. So if you are in the system and you're dealing with these people, taking money for them and telling us to go operate, then let me just give you warning. There is no room for anybody who is working with a Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency to say you can operate your own ghetto. It's negative. They will catch you. We have a strong intelligence team. I'm from the NSA. Okay? I'm one of the director of the NSA. So all my work are intelligence investigation. So everything you will be doing share on deals, carrying it all in the night, transport the drug from one area to another, be wasting your time because by the time we test you, you what? Okay, you have to be yourself, you have to be professional. Even if you're making $100 in the DEA, be very much professional. We will not encourage DEA people going to people home with all the search and feature warrant.
To this next development, the former chairperson of the National Patriotic Party and public policy consultant Emmanuel Lamais has called for an even-handed approach to the justice system in Liberia. Speaking with reporters in Single, the former National Archive executive director emphasized that accountability for war and economic crime code for one individual involved in wrongdoing must not be selective. Lamai's question ongoing possibility to establish the World and Economic Crimes Code, noting that it perpetrates dispute in the country, especially the conflict and concerns surrounding foreign security presence in the country. Lamar also described the global justice system as a paradox and questioned whether such tribe in Liberia who deliver true justice or be it manipulated for political gains.
Where it was going to target me. But someone in the war is he's violating all of the international laws. So for Taylor, it's a paradox that is difficult to comprehend. You got this man for the commission of heinous human rights violation. At the same time, the great power of the United States is supporting Netanyahu to kill the level of decimation on the lives of innocent people. I want to really go there because it's empathy. So the question, where is the moral? Of course, the World Economic Forum, I just want to give a background, 100% inferiority. And once if there's no game that's been played, we should have some international support for that as well. So justice can be. No, it's not the World Economic Crimes Code in Liberia. I'm talking about in terms of support. So once they don't admire the establishment of this code, there'll be gains in terms of this. If I were to spin your question, we got a lot of things that bears in everything in Liberia. So Taylor is already serving. He's already in jail. I thought you'll be talking about people in the legislature that also committed heinous crime and all these people who are operating in offices around here. So I would like to see them prosecuted. If that was the case, you're regular, very good. See what Emmanuel Lomas has. So I run a farm in Bon County, one of the best farms. And I do that. I had a tie with President Taylor when he was here. And when he left, I've been hearing some rumors around about those kinds of situations. But I can't speak to it because they're not in very
This real, this a reality of it.
A reality as well.
To live that.
Oh yeah, the reason why I said that Taylor was here and people have been speculating, some family members that he has some connections with other people that know some details about his property. I remember I was at the archive, I started doing my own research, and I saw some property that was given to some of his wives, his former wives, and some other family members and what happened to those documents.
Emmanuel Lomax is the former chairperson of the National Patriotic Party and public consultant there speaking. Well, we've half an hour now past the news presentation. This is a reminder that you are listening to the weekend edition of King's Newsroom. 45 minutes of news about Liberia and the rest of our Warner Globe. Top stories we are following this evening. Sano County Senator and Chair on Judiciary, Councillor Augustine Chair describes LMP's alleged failure to arrest suspended Deputy Youth and Sports Minister Brian McGill following allegation of rape as an obstruction through the country's justice system. Ministry of Health announces a nationwide malaria vaccination campaign for children below 14 months. Liberia Chief Medical Officer Dr. Catherine Cooper calls on parents to take advantage of the opportunity for their children's safety. Also, National Elections Commission officially certificates Cotto Quack as the duly elected representative of Nimba County District 5 following a resolution from an electoral dispute that emerged from the August 2025 by-election in the county. And as well, thousands of people in Madagascar have taken to the street in different parts of the country for the past week in the largest wave of protest in the Indian Ocean island nation has witnessed in more than 15 years. Taking a very short break. When we come back, we'll bring you more developments. Welcome back up to this next development. The Ministry of Health has called on parents to take ownership of the country's malaria vaccine campaign, stressing that its sources centers on families ensuring their children receive all 4 doses of the vaccine. Speaking at the national launch of the vaccine in 9 additional counties, Chief Medical Officer of Liberia, Dr. Catherine Cooper, said Liberia has made progress in the fight against malaria, but one that complacency could undermine the gains. According to Hall, the vaccine will be administered to children between 5 and 15 months, noting that it requires 4 doses for maximum protection.
But as a government, we are taking this bold step to provide vaccination for malaria to our entire population. The vaccination targets children 5 months and less than 2 years, and there will be 4 doses of this vaccination. The evidence shows that once children take these 4 doses of the vaccine, they are better prepared to fight against the parasites. And that will ensure that their lives are prolonged, that will ensure that they are more prepared to be the generation that will take over from us in Liberia. We want to recognize the partnership. We could not have done it by ourselves. We recognize Gavi, which is our partner that provides vaccines for different childhood and various childhood diseases. Gavi has been a strong partner to our Ministry of Health, and we recognize their contribution to the other partnerships. We have all our partners who have spoken here today. They have made significant contribution to the Ministry of Health, working closely with our EPI team, strategizing, providing financial and technical support to our EPI program. We recognize all the partners.
At the same time, Dr. Cooper highlighted the government's integrated approach combating immunization with bed net distribution, case management at the health facilities, and preventive care for pregnant women and children. The chief medical officer also called on health workers to ensure the parents about monitored side effects such as fever or pain at injection sites.
But as a government, we are taking this bold step to provide vaccination for malaria to our entire population. The vaccination targets children 5 months and less than 2 years, and there will be 4 doses of this vaccination. The evidence shows that once our children have important the introduction of malaria, the malaria vaccine, into these mind counting skills. Last year, we started the first phase of this project where we introduced the malaria vaccine into 6 counties. And why did we prioritize these counties? There was a high prevalence of malaria from our data in those counties. Over the year, we have learned what is it that we need to do better to ensure that the children receive the vaccine. We have also emphasized that the vaccination is just one component of our strategy to reduce the prevalence and incidence of malaria in our country. We still promote case management and its treatment at the facilities. Our treatment prioritizes all are affected with malaria, especially pregnant women and children who are the most vulnerable. We also encourage the use of bed nets. And over the last year, we had a distribution of almost 2 million bed nets to our entire population. Still encourage other strategies that we think will reduce the prevalence and the incidence of malaria. We have seen remarkable improvements over the years, and we see a decrease in the different incidents, and we are encouraged, but we cannot forget about our children. The vaccination is a critical component to target our vulnerable children less than 2 years. We all are aware of the complications of malaria and how it affects children. Children die daily in our country because of these complications, severe malaria, anemia, neurological complications, all as a result of these children being affected by malaria. They are not strong enough, so malaria has a very severe impact on them.
Liberia's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Catherine Cooper, there speaking. Now, ahead of the news presentation is our foreign development, but this development sets the pace. Descendants of the estate of the late Hilary Todman has accused the chief executive officer of the Urban Marketing Group Incorporated, Reverend Roosevelt Allen Brown, of ongoing harassment despite a Supreme Court ruling that stripped him of any legal right to the property. Speaking separately with reporters on Thursday following an arrest warrant issued by the Monrovia City Court, the tenant identified as Madame Marion Double Kelvin described Reverend Brown's continuing attempt to evade them as criminal trespass. According to the tenants, Brown has consistently harassed legal occupants of the property located on 6th Street even after the Supreme Court ruling.
So I came that morning asking the sheriff there to serve me copy. They said I should go to my lawyer. I said, no, you serve me, I own the property. Before you do any invasion, you serve me copy. The sheriff and the police, they said, no way, they start doing all kind of things. All of a sudden, to get me all of the property, they went to the police and put burglary case on me on the same property. They took me and carried me to the police station for me to come back to get free from the police station and come. They were finished busting my car, my oldest cousin, Rebecca, were on the compound here too. And Myron, they were finished busting the door, busting the window, they took all the things and put it in the ring. That were Imara Lomar, Serena C4, one robber to be identified, one Tama, and so they were lying. So I asked the officer, I said, but what you people doing here? I know that I should be Esa cousin, I can say sister, okay, which is Elizabeth with a Topman. All right. I represent fact. Yeah, read on arrest. On what basis? Because he illegally trespassed and causing serious chaos and damage on the property here. So at the point, man, getting me off, it means that they will get access towards the property. So the first thing they normally do to get me all of the property first, they will get me all of the property first before they can go on with the illegal thing.
Oh, yesterday I was at work, but then we've been on the case for some time now. And then on February 18th, the Supreme Court ruled and gave us possessory right.
No other code contains that.
After February 18, this name is Adam Brown filed in for reargument.
We never told any appeal.
When
We
went for the reargument, he couldn't defend the reargument, so the judge again ruled on May 28th and poured in possession of the property. On August 19, we received our possessory right from the civil law court under John Smith. And then on August 27, Mr. Adam Brown was evicted from on the property. We evicted him. So on last week, a huge number of sheriff and police officers said that the injunction we filed for, they gave him possession of it. Mr. Brown again came with the same injunction paper that he claimed he had possession of, with over 30 sheriff, police paper, PSU, 2 filled on the place, and they damaged our things, what's our horses, what's our home, take all the way, we go down there, we see the building side, took all the window, damaged everything, our money, our land, heavy rain yesterday that was falling, I put of rain, the sheriff, our lawyer came on the scene, tried to intercept them, but they couldn't listen. They said they were going to put forward. So that's what happened.
And now, away from home, thousands of people in Madagascar have taken to the streets in different parts of the country for the past week in the largest wave of protest in the Indian Ocean island nation that has witnessed in more than 15 years. What began as anger over shortages of basic necessity has rapidly escalated into one of the most serious challenges facing President Andrew Joe Leonard, who has been in power for the second time since 2018. At least 22 people have been killed and more than 100 others injured in the arrest, according to the UN, though the government has dismissed those figures and described them as based on numerous rumors and misinformation. Pressure started to build following the arrest of 19 September of two leading city politicians who had planned a peaceful demonstration in the capital over chronic power and water supply problems. They have banned hour-long daily outrage of the services run by a state-owned utility company. Many saw their detention as an attempt to silence legitimate dissent, leading to public outrage, with the cause taken up by civil society group and the formation of the Youth League online movement known as Gen Z Mandate. The protests have since spread beyond Garbin, 8 other cities across the island with no sign of subsiding. This is how we go home on today's edition of the news program. But before we take leave of you, remind of top stories we closed it for them. Sano County Senator and Chair on Judiciary, Councillor Gosling Chair describes LMP's alleged failure to arrest suspended Deputy Youth and Sports Minister. Brian McGill following allegation of rape as an obstruction to the country's justice systems. Minister of Youth and the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the Health announces a nationwide malaria vaccination campaign for children below 14 months. Liberia Chief Medical Officer Dr. Catherine Cooper calls on parents to take advantage of the opportunity for their children's future. National Election Commission official certificates Cocteau Quagrid as the duly elected representative Neighbor County District 5 following a resolution from an electoral dispute that emerged from the August 12, 2025 by-election. Away from whom thousands of people in Madagascar have taken to the streets in different parts of the country the past week in the largest wave of protests in the Indian Ocean island nation that witnessed in more than 15 years. There's no like to say many thanks to our reporters, editors, for making today's news presentation a success. Sam Andrews brought us the news bulletin and Sarah Control. I'm Stephen Compton. Thanks for listening and watching.